It's only in this round where I have officially started to question my ball knowledge because, well, my the two games in which that happened, I thought would be going one way, but in reality, kind of just gone the other way. And, I mean, whatever. But in this first game, we're kind of sitting there in a maze. We're like, okay, so France is like pound for pound better than Spain. But if Spain plays exactly what they want to do, which is the most boring game of all time, live up to the passing merchant's name, then there is a better chance of them making it to the World Cup. I'm starting to think that the Paraguay match was not a fluke. I'm just kidding. That Paraguay is different, but Spain came in and got a pretty silly penalty from Lamine Yamal. Just kind of like jumped in front of one of the French defenders, and for some reason he just decides to kick him in the hip or whatever. I don't know what the hell he was doing. It was a pretty terrible penalty giveaway that they're going to give away 9 times out of 10. Uh, you know, Calmly yeets it into the net, and that's how the game starts. And by that point, France was pretty much just finished. They just score another goal to put it away. Something that a certain team would not learn later. And while it says here that France technically had momentum, like just look at the not big spikes here. The biggest spike was for Spain and didn't even score. And I don't even know what the hell happened here. I was watching it. I certainly didn't, see that. But it was a very well deserved match one for Spain. Because again, France had 10 shots total. And when you hold one of the best attacks in the entire world to 10 shots, and 3 shots on target and 0 big chances, even continuing with 7 corners. That's pretty good. I would say that France was most certainly threatening, more threatening in the second half. That was mostly because they were chasing shadows. But in that first half, they looked terrible. They looked worse than Spain when they were playing Cape Verde. Like it was just they couldn't match shapes. They just couldn't do the things that they had done for so many years. It was like the magic of you know French soccer, football. It just magically disappeared. Mbappe looked closer to someone from Union Omaha than they were to someone that plays for Real fucking Madrid. While Spain looked like a bunch of players that played for Barcelona, which I mean that's partially true, but also what do we France has some talent that's in, the Premier League. They have talent that, goes to the Premier League. Spain doesn't necessarily have that as much, but they did actually win the Euros of 2024, so I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to give this other than Spain has experience beating France in thank you plane in recent times. So I guess that kind of just faded through. I don't know if if they still have like a I don't think they do. Well, who cares? I mean, if anyone remembers the first Nations League or the second, I don't remember. Whatever the tournament where Lamine Yamal decided to show up for the first, no, it would have been second or third. Or Spain beat France 5-4. Although it was like 5-1. France almost came back or something. I mean, it definitely showed that Spain just apparently has France somehow, and France is out in the semis. They will be playing in the third place match, which is somewhere that nobody, a lot of people expected them to go to the final. I expected them to go to the final. I think that was the expectation for everyone. But I guess if there is a team to lose to, it probably would be Spain. At least it is the best team that comes from the other quadrant. So, like, it makes sense. For Spain, though, this is a pretty big revelation. This team they only have one World Cup, and that was back in 2010, which I know that's only like 4 World Cup editions ago, but considering Spain is one of the premier soccer football nations over the past 50 some years. I mean, having one is probably not great considering France has had more in a similar time span. So, yeah, you always want more than just one World Cup. You want two. But, yeah, for them to get their second ever World Cup, they will have to face reigning champions Argentina. Which, I mean, I guess I expected this. I really didn't want to. As much as I really don't care for England as a whole, I really don't care. I really would have rather had England win this one simply because it's more unique. Again, Spain has only had one World Cup. So has England. England only has one World Cup, and that was in the 60s, which that's a long damn time ago. That's a unique matchup. One World Cup winner versus one World Cup winner. That's always good. But instead, we're going to get Spain versus Argentina. As soon as England was for the most part semi-controlling the match to an extent, basically playing how they have for pretty much their entire existence, which is have 0 shots. It took until the 30th minute for someone to get a shot off. So it's amazing that they combined for 2 XG and a whopping 20 shots. But the biggest crime that England committed, and a crime that a lot of teams have committed, is playing defense heavily against Argentina. And unfortunately, Argentina has the magic to score 2 late goals and win the game. Again, I really, especially after the instant immediately after where they instigate, the whole Falklands thing that I really don't want to get into, but it's something, Argentina lost a war over the Falklands and they keep saying shit about it. That was the entire build up into this game. Even during the France versus Spain match, that was pretty much, the only thing Argentinian media would talk about. The only thing that their government would be talking about was fucking Falklands, which I'm like, it's a 40-year-old war. I don't see us Americans talking about fucking Iraq. I don't think you should be. Whatever, you lost a UN thing about it. We haven't, so fuck you. Anyway, so Anthony Gordon scores, and then Thomas Tuchel just goes into a defensive curl, and they make a bunch of subs, and obviously the defensive curl doesn't work. They try and do stuff in the last little bit. Death, and yeah, no Dan Burns can save you from this hell. Especially after you threw it away. And I don't know. Like England will win one at some point before the heat death of the universe, or before nuclear fallout. But this really felt like they could actually do it. Argentina was coming into this game failing to destroy opponents from the continent of Africa, and other shenanigans that happened in the quarters, and then they blow it again, just emphasizing even more hurt, and then also just creating the catastrophe. I really hope that they do some sort of punishment for the incident after the game. I saw, you don't unfurl a banner like that. You just don't. Like, if the U.S. beat Canada, and if we somehow face Canada in the World Cup and we unfurled a a thing similar to that, saying that Canada is the 51st state, I would have wanted our players and, the entire FA to get sanctioned to hell for it. Because it is a claim that we so do not have, and is a claim that we have certainly lost. I mean, it was, a little farther away from, the 1980s. It was, the War of 1812. We lost that right to Canada. So, same deal there for Argentina and the Falklands, except Canada is massive. I don't know. I just know for a fact that whatever the there's gonna be something that has to do with colonization and Spain being colonizers of Argentina. I just know that's gonna happen, and I just really wish they would shut the fuck up and just play the sport. If they just played the sport, I wouldn't really have that much of a problem because the U.S. never really plays them. But after Copa America winning it, singing a racist song about the French national team, the fans doing it in the previous World Cup, and then now this, it just really makes you unlikable. Like, it really, whatever plot armor you have, it really, amazes me that it's still there. But, I mean, I get why. It's the heel after all. But this was the moment for England to finally be the fan favorite in a fucking match that, again, no one really cares for England, but it's like, okay, you're facing a much bigger, more annoying foe. Just beat them, and they turtle, and you're just like, all right, you didn't deserve it in the first place. Now, does England fire Tuchel? Yes. Yes, the English media will burn him to the ground because he only made the semifinal, and he's German, so that just makes it even worse. We're not saying shit about Pochettino and burning it to the ground because he's Argentinian. No, that's fine. It's okay. I'd like for Poch to come back. I feel like he kind of got screwed over by the fact that our government showed up, which Argentina could learn a thing or two from it, but yeah, just I don't know if he should be fired. He probably will, and it probably makes sense because you don't go into turtle formation against Argentina. But I don't know. He was hired just for this World Cup and the Euros, I think. I don't remember, but if he sucks poorly in the Euros, or actually probably in Nations League, because that apparently matters to people. I don't know. It matters to Ireland a good amount. So maybe fire him if you don't even make it to the quarterfinals. Who knows? I don't know. I just don't think you should be that sad about losing to Plot Armor FC in the semifinals. Quarterfinals, different story. But the semifinals, your top four in the world. If you just win the third place match, you'll get your a third place, which I don't know if you have gotten a third place match, a third place. I know in 2018 you got a third place. But no, you didn't get a third place. You got a fourth place because you lost to fucking Belgium, because that was back when Belgium actually did something for once. Where the hell is? It doesn't really say that you have a. It doesn't really say you've had a third place. You have one championship, so that's it. Unless it doesn't count third place, you can call me wrong on that, but just imagine you can have the same amount of third places as the United States if you win. If you don't, then that means that you got a worse place than the United States. That's always just funny to me. Anyway, final and third place matches will be interesting. England versus France. That's a classic battle of 10 centuries. And then Argentina versus Spain. A match between a colonizer and a colonizer. So that's something, I guess. Yeah, remember that southern bit of Argentina? Yeah, no, you didn't own that before. Anyway, Spain didn't either. I think that'll be it for now. I'm gonna try and get some other shit uploaded in July. I really just want to get all this shit done before August. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I'm 2 4 done, and I'm 4 months late. It's fine. All right. See ya.